Guys, we are back with another song by Eminem. And which one are we doing today?
Today we're doing Zeus.
Zeus.
Yeah. I think I'm actually almost positive I played this for you before.
Yeah, I'm just not recognizing it by the title, I guess.
Yeah, it's an interesting song.
Yeah.
Zeus, obviously the Greek god, I think.
Yeah.
So bad, I never remember if it's like Greek or Norse or whatever the hell all those different gods are. But either way, I believe it was Greek.
It's not Norse, it's either Greek or Roman.
He was the god of all gods. Like he ruled as the king of the gods, Zeus.
Okay.
Yeah.
It may be Greek. I think Greek.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know. I'm
Yes.
not up to date on my mythology.
And it's featuring White Gold. He's on the chorus. So,
Sounds good.
yeah, we'll listen, break it down.
And this video is sponsored by Carnivore Snacks, one of my favorite meat snacks ever, and just one of my favorite snacks in general. You should definitely try it if you haven't. They've got a bunch of great slider flavors. They have bison, lamb, beef, chicken, so many different kinds of sliders that you should definitely try. They're absolutely delicious. It's like eating a meat potato chip, perfectly salty, like literally like the best snack. Like you can't go wrong. There's 2 ingredients in there. There's whatever the meat is, like in this one it's the grass-fed bison and Redmond real salt. Like it's perfect and delicious and amazing. And if you haven't tried it yet, you really should. Use our coupon code with Smith for 15% off your first order, and the link is in the description below. We are also sponsored by SeatGeek, which is a great website to get tickets for anything and everything. It's just like any other ticket website. They have sporting events, concerts, comedians, like anything you can think of, they've got it. And you can use our coupon code with Smith for $20 off your first purchase. And the link is in the description below for that as well. And here's just some goings on in New York. You click the website, it'll populate with your area.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So this is track number 14 off of Music to be Murdered by side B. And we are almost done with this album. All right. Here we go.
She says I am trash, but she listens to Tekashi. Bitch, you lost me. Yeah, fair weather, wishy-washy. She thinks machine washed me. Swear to God, man, her favorite rapper wish she crossed me. I love conflict, got her obnoxious, subconscious. Yeah, I'm afraid to unlock it. Keep those monsters in the closet. I'm what an idiotic sub-buttons. But I've been throwing down gauntlets since that underground ruckus. Yeah, where I planted my roots. Yeah, that's how I had a whole planet that roots for me. As in the group, and no one thinks dark as I think. So imagine the havoc these black thoughts are to wreak. As in Trotter, I keep slaughtering beats. Shout out to beat miners and T-miners, but me long as I breathe, promise to be honest and wholeheartedly. Apologies, Rihanna, for that song that leaked. I'm sorry, Rhea, it wasn't meant to cause you grief. Regardless, it was wrong of me. But
I be on my own.
Yeah.
Head up in the clouds like Zeus. When they say you ain't the GOAT, I come down like who? But I got my head in the clouds like Zeus. Swear I can see the game from a bird's eye view. Hey, bitch, you talking to a rap god. Hey, girl, you talking to a monster. Hey, you could give your whole damn life to the music thing. They gon' turn around like they don't love you.
Yeah.
He made a reference to something that I wouldn't have picked up on if he didn't watch a certain show.
Yeah.
Am I picking up on that? Or did he just say a word weirdly?
What are you referring to?
He said Tariq
So no, that's
Power.
it's not. That's not what he's referring to. Tariq is a character in Power, but it's Tariq Trotter from The Roots. So it's that
Okay.
scheme there. First, does this sound familiar to you or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. I was pretty sure that I played this for you. Okay. So it comes in, there's no introduction, the beat just starts and he just starts rapping right into the first verse. He says, "She says I am trash, but she listens to Takashi. Bitch, you
Tekashi
lost."
6ix9ine.
Yeah. "Bitch, you lost me. Fair weather, wishy-washy. She thinks machine washed me. Swear to God, man, her favorite rapper wish he'd cross me."
So Tekashi 6ix9ine, and then goes into the wishy washy, and then machine wash. He's talking about Machine Gun Kelly,
So
and yeah,
the very first So this is actually a direct response to someone in particular.
Oh,
There's a show you've seen me listen to it before. It's called My Expert
I've
Opinion.
seen you listen to
Yeah, like on
it.
YouTube.
Yeah, I
Um,
think. Who does it?
so Math Hoffa, he's a battle rapper. He had like RFK Jr. on, whatever. He mostly
Okay.
interviews like rappers and like athletes, but he had RFK Jr. on, for example.
Yeah, okay.
So there was another battle rapper, a female battle rapper. Her name is Misfit.
Batter rapper.
Batter battle rapper. Her name's Misfit, like MS
Oh, that's
period
cool.
fit. And she was saying on that show that she thinks MGK beat Eminem. So he's referring explicitly to her.
What song?
What do you mean?
When did he beat Eminem?
The rap god, the rap devil, and that's what she's referring to.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why she says I am trash, but she listens to Takashi. So he's like, you can't trust her taste in music because she likes Takashi 6ix9ine, right? And then he says, you lost me, fair weather, wishy washy. So it's interesting, the fair weather. If you're a fair weather fan, you know what I mean? You only like sometimes, right? You don't support them. You're not a
You
real
only like
fan.
them when it's a good idea to like them.
Yeah, and then the wishy-washy, which is similar as fair weather, but then he ties in the wash with she thinks machine washed me, so washing machine,
Yeah.
but then Machine Gun Kelly washed him in the battle, like beat him.
Yeah.
And then he does the little swear to God, her favorite rapper, wish he'd crossed me.
Who is MGK?
So I don't know that he's necessarily
Or
saying,
just favorite
yeah,
rapper in
he's just
general?
saying whoever her favorite rapper is, I'd kill him, right? And then so he says, swear to God, and then he says, crossed me. So I didn't pick up. I've just read that recently. I might have been on Genius or something. I was like, oh, I never picked up on that. That seems like it could be a
Yeah.
reference to that. All right. Then it continues. He says, I love conflict, got a obnoxious, subconscious. I'm afraid to unlock it. Keep those monsters in the closet. I'm what an idiotic savant is.
Okay, so he has an obnoxious brain. He's afraid to, get lost in his thoughts, I guess.
Well, no, he's afraid to like let it out. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And that's just it. Keep those monsters in the closet because it's
Yeah.
monster.
Yeah.
So then this is interesting where he says,
Itchy.
what's up?
No, I'm itchy. Continue.
He says, I'm what an idiotic savant is. So the phrase is idiot
Idiot
savant.
savant. Yeah.
So, which is somebody who has like some sort of like,
A
uh,
large amount of knowledge of like nothing important,
no. So it's a
right?
mentally disabled person who's like very, very like an expert in one like area or field, right? There's like people that are like, like they have like some sort of severe mental disability, but like they're amazing at like painting or something or like whatever it is, this like random skill that's known
Okay.
as the idiot savant, which is like the name it goes by. But so when he says I'm an idiotic savant, I think he's doing a play on it. Do you know what I mean? I think he's saying that I am a savant and I'm also idiotic. Because an
Well,
idiot,
just a savant doesn't that just mean you're good at something?
yes,
Yeah.
but the idiot savant is somebody who, in particular, is like mentally challenged, but they're very good in this field, right? So it's like a very specific thing, an idiot savant. And then I think when he's saying an idiotic savant, he's doing a play on idiot savant, but I think he's also saying like
He's idiotic,
I'm a
but like he's
savant.
like a rap savant.
Yeah, like he's not an idiot savant. He's a savant who happens to be idiotic. Do you know what I mean? I
Yes.
think that's what he's saying, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Then he says, but I've been throwing down gauntlets since that underground raucous where I planted my roots. That's how I had a whole planet that roots for me, as in the group, and no one thinks dark as I think. So this is in the middle of a scheme, but whatever. We'll just.
So it's like a root scheme. You got underground, okay? You've got planted my roots. You've got planet that roots, like cheers. And then in the group, the roots.
Yeah, so he continues that scheme in the next thing. When he says I've been throwing down gauntlets, it's underground raucous. That was like where he got his first start. Actually, I don't know if you in Stan in one of the verses, he's like, I like the shit you did with Ruckus too, man. That shit was fat. That's the line that Stan says in the letter.
I don't
So
remember.
he's referring to it. It was it was like I think it was a label, right? And they had like albums and shit. But Eminem, he started out really early in the early mid '90s. There, he was working with them. And then, yeah, you pointed out the whole scheme he does. That's why he planted his roots, right? That's how he got started. And then he does planted my roots, planet that roots, right? So it's like a similar phrase. And then, yes, roots for me, as in the group. So, like you pointed out, roots the group, and no one thinks as dark as I think. So imagine the havoc these black thoughts are to wreak, as in Trotter. I keep slaughtering beats. Shout out to beat miners and T minus, but me long. So this is wrong. That's worded weird. I have the lyrics on my phone. Let's see. He says, "But me, long as I breathe, promise to be honest." So he's continued. So he says, "No one thinks as dark as I think," right? So then, and he says, "So imagine the havoc these black thoughts are to wreak." As in Trotter. So Tariq Trotter is the name of Black Thought. That's his
That makes
from
sense.
from the roots. So he does no one's as dark as I think. He's like, so imagine the havoc, these black thoughts. So dark, black thought, imagine, think, you know what I mean? It's like the same type of thing. And then I keep slaughtering beats. And then he's so beat miners and T minus. T minus, I believe, produced this track that we're listening to. And beat miners, I think they're just other producers. I'm not too familiar with them, but I think they just produce.
Okay.
And then he says, yeah, but me, again, it's wrong there. Me, long as I breathe, promise to be honest. And then he says, and wholeheartedly apologies, Rihanna, for that song that leaked. I'm sorry, Ree. It wasn't meant to cause you grief. Regardless, it was wrong of me. But, and then it goes into the chorus.
Which song?
So a few years back, he had a song that leaked, and in it, he was like, he has a line to like the effect of course I side with Chris. I'd beat down a bitch too if she gave me like an STD or something. And
Is that why he beat her?
I mean, that's what those people are saying.
I mean, like, it's not, and it's never an excuse to
Yeah.
beat someone, but I didn't know that that was why.
So whatever, at least, that's what Eminem's referring to in the song that leaked. So he apparently never released it, right? And then somebody leaked the song. They're close, like they're friends. You know what I mean? Like they were on the Monster tour together, which
Yeah.
I had tickets to, but didn't get to fucking go to. But yeah, so like they're friends. So like it kind of seemed like a betrayal. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I would be upset if I
Saying
were
that,
Rihanna.
yeah, saying that like after your friends, even though it was, I think it was done before. It's not clear to me when he recorded it. Do you know what I mean? But either way, he's saying, "I'm sorry, it wasn't," because when I heard it, it was just like, oh, he's just trying to be shocking. Do you know what I mean? Of course, that's why he's just saying it. You know what I mean? Like he's talking about beating women, like he raps about that shit all the time, and he's not serious about it. And then he says it was wrong of me, and then it goes into the chorus, which is white gold, and he says, "I be on my own, head up in the clouds like Zeus. When they say you ain't the goat, I come down like ooh." But I got my head in the clouds like Zeus, swear I could see the game from a bird's eye view. So I think he is, which we always discuss, I believe that he is rapping from Eminem's perspective.
Okay.
Obviously, you know what I mean? Because he's talking about being the GOAT.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we discussed, Zeus was, I think we agreed on Greek god,
Yeah.
but whatever, he was the king of all the gods. So,
King of the Gods.
yeah. So his head is in the clouds like Zeus because he's a god. When people say you're not the goat, I come down and, he shows them what's up. And then because he's in the clouds and so high above everybody, has a bird's eye view of the game. He could see everything. And then it says, bitch, you talking to a rap god. Girl, you talking to a monster. You could give your whole damn life to the music thing. They gonna turn around like they don't love you.
All right.
So that's two references to two of his songs, Rap God and Monster, with Godzilla, not really Monster. Actually, no, Monster with Rihanna.
Rihanna.
See, because I was thinking of Godzilla, where he says, Monster.
That works too.
It does. It's interesting. And then, yeah, the last part self-explanatory. Like you can give everything you have, but eventually, you're not going to be hot anymore. People are going to turn on you, like they don't love
Yeah.
you. All right, pick it up here.
they gon' turn around like they don't love you.
Yeah, they woke a giant up. So when I get back on my feet, don't wonder why in the fuck is my head in the clouds. G5 with the stewardess getting head in the clouds. Mile High Club, why I give a flying fuck. Oh, punchline, or just trying to survive in this climate of vaginas who dying to cancel my ass like Aunt Jemima. Syrup, I'm a shit stirrer, you're a dimer. Dozen said I couldn't do it. Hit Europe, kick the door and put a foot through it. Like a stirrup. Used to have to sit and watch them bills pile up. Yeah, now I just sit back and watch them bills pile up.
I be on my own.
Yeah.
Head up in the clouds like Zeus. When they say you ain't the GOAT, I come down like who? But I got my head in the clouds like Zeus. Swear I can see the game from a bird's eye view. Hey, bitch, you talking to a rap god. Hey, girl, you talking to a monster. Hey, you could give your whole damn life to the music thing. They gon' turn around.
I've seen them come and go. I've seen the hugest debuts. I've had a great view to see the game through. And Drake, they're gonna turn on you one day too. And the more you win, the sooner they do. They'll be calling you a trash bin, saying that your new one isn't better than your last. And even if it is, once they start to turn their backs, they ain't never coming back. And they did it to chance next to be mentioned in future in the past tense. Or saying adios to amigos. I ain't dissing, I'm just trying to keep the shit a C-note. Same people been trying to do the shit to me, so I call them people because they're so easy to see through them. But a fighter's all I knew how to be. I got the shit beat out of me. Tripped and fell and blew out a knee. Popped it back in and hopped up like fuck it. Best 2 out of 3, yeah. Man, I gotta be doing something right. I got 11 years of sobriety, so the only bottom I'ma be hitting is if it's sodomy. Wait, I mean, you would think that somebody handed a sodomy. How I'm chopping these bars, they keep wanting me to rap responsibly when I'm constantly passing the buck like the fucking Dollar Tree. But I'ma always remind you that I came from poverty. Black people saved my life from the Doc and Deshaun, and all that we want is racial equality. R.I.P. Laquan McDonald, Trayvon and Brianna, Tatiana, Ray Shard and Dominique, Eric Garner and Rodney King. No, we can't get along to these white motherfucking cops who keep murdering blacks off the streets. And as far as squashing beef, I'm used to people knocking me, but just not in my camp. And diplomatic, cause I'm trying to be last thing I need is Snoop Dogg in me. Man, dog, you was like a damn god to me. Man, not really. I had dog backwards. But I'm starting to think all these people taking shots at me. Shit, it's no wonder I be on my
own. Head up in the clouds like Zeus. When they say you ain't the GOAT, I come down like who? But I got my head in the clouds like Zeus. Swear I can see the game from a bird's eye view. Hey, bitch, you talking to a rap god. Hey, girl, you talking to a monster. Hey, you could give your whole damn life to the music thing. They gon' turn around like they don't love you.
Okay.
Okay.
I let the whole song play because there was only
Because
like,
it was so short, the second one. It was like, I was like, damn, that's really short.
yeah,
But the end is a lot longer.
I know. I should have paused, but whatever.
It's
Okay.
fine.
So
6 of 1.
yeah. He comes in second verse. He says, "Yeah, they woke a giant up. So when I get back on my feet, don't wonder why in the fuck is my head in the clouds. G5 with the stewardess getting head in the clouds."
So
So
he's a giant, and he says his head's in the clouds because he's on a G5, which is a private plane, like PJ.
yeah,
And G5 with the stewardess getting head in the clouds, meaning like it's a play on having your head in the clouds, but like you're getting head in the clouds for the stewardess.
yeah, and then obviously they woke a giant up is the saying, don't wake a sleeping giant,
Yes.
right? So he's
So then you have to deal with the wrath of the giant.
exactly. And then you pointed all that out. Yeah, so he says, getting head in the clouds, Mile High Club, I give a flying fuck. Punchliner, so they left off a letter. Punchliner, just trying to survive in this climate of vaginas, who dying to cancel my ass like Aunt Jemima. Syrup, I'm a shit stirrer, you're a dimer.
So
Dozen.
the Mile High Club and I give a flying fuck along with the head in the clouds with the stewardess. Flying fuck in the sky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and sex in the Mile High Club in the plane. And then yes, flying fuck, and then both ways. Like I don't give a fuck, and then literally fucking while flying.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, so he says punchliner, just trying to survive in this climate of vaginas.
So calling all the other rappers vaginas.
So it's interesting. Maybe the rappers, but I think he's referring to cancel culture in general.
Like anyone who's like talking shit.
Because the next line is this climate of vaginas who
Okay.
dying to cancel my ass like Aunt Jemima.
I didn't read on. Yeah, it's about the people who try to cancel him.
Yeah. And so he's referred to himself as a punchliner, which is interesting, like a punchline rapper. it's interesting. He sees himself as that. Um, and then yeah, he refers to the Aunt Jemima whose face was taken off the syrup, even though it was
Yeah.
based on a real woman. That was wild. Um,
And the family of Aunt Jemima, the woman who Aunt Jemima
yeah,
was based off of, was upset
their
that they were
family. Yeah,
removing her from the syrup.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and then yes, then he says like Aunt Jemima's syrup, and he says, "I'm a shit stirrer. You're a dime a dozen." I don't know why. I feel like it goes together, the syrup and shit stirrer. Like, I don't know why I'm imagining stirring syrup, but like it doesn't. I don't. But for some reason, I'm like, oh yeah, stirring syrup. But I'm like, that's not a thing.
I
So,
don't see it.
yeah, meaning it's not a thing.
Maybe should stir an ass.
Maybe. So yeah, I'm a shit stirrer. You're a dime a dozen. Said I couldn't do it, hit Europe, kicked the door in, put a foot through it, like a stirrup. Used to have to sit and watch them bills pile up. Now I just sit back and watch them bills pile up.
So the syrup goes along with syrup.
So,
Syrup.
yeah, so he said I couldn't do it, hit Europe. So I don't know if he was referring to specifically Europe. They were saying that like he couldn't,
Like make it big over there.
or if just he was saying they said I couldn't do it in general, and as an example of him proving them wrong, he's just saying, "Look what I did in Europe." You know what I
Yeah, that's
mean?
like the only place he's been touring for like
I know it's
a
crazy.
very long time. But there was some stuff going on Reddit today. I kept getting notifications, people saying that like I didn't read them. I didn't get a chance. I was working. And it's like theories that Eminem's dropping something soon.
So there's constant theories, especially on Reddit. It's wild there.
Yeah, I know. That's why
Although,
I didn't even click. But like it could
although
be true. I don't
I
know.
will say they got like really strict on Eminem's Reddit, where like there used to be like every other post was a theory of like I know this person. They moderate like a lot. So they weed out most of the bullshit posts. Not to say that everything you read on that Reddit's true, but if it's up there, it means it's not completely frivolous that like you can't even see it. You know what I mean? So I'll have to check it out. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll show you if I can find it in my notifications.
Yeah. So obviously, like we were just saying, he went over to Europe, kicked in the door, so he forced his way into Europe, right? Put his foot through it, and then the foot like a stirrup, we're saying. So that's like for the horse, you literally put your foot through it.
Yes.
And then this is a very simple bar, but it's awesome. Used to have to sit back and watch them bills pile up. Now I just sit back and watch them bills pile up.
So like bills you have to pay, but then bills is in cash.
Yes, clever. And then
Of course.
it goes back into the chorus. Yeah, that's so short. That second verse. Yeah. All right. And then we get into the third and final verse. Eminem comes in. He says, I seen them come and go. I've seen the hugest debuts. I've had a great view to see the game through. And Drake, they're going to turn on you one day too. And the more you win, the sooner they do.
So yeah, he's talking about how every rapper that's big right now is gonna have the same fate as Eminem does right now, eventually.
So, yes, but I think he's saying that like he's still here though. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, it's interesting because he's talked in previous songs about he's like I'm not at my top anymore, right? But he is still in the game. You know what I mean? So like when he says I've seen them come and go, he's referring to like people who are so hot and now you just don't hear them anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then yeah, like you pointed out, and he names Drake. He actually goes on to name a few
Yeah,
rappers
a
coming
lot.
up because Drake, especially at this time, he was it. You know what I mean? He was the biggest number one, and he said, yeah, warning him. And then he says, and the more you win, the sooner they do. So the bigger you get, the more people start to turn on you, ironically, even though you're getting bigger, but you get more haters too. And he says, they'll be calling you a trash bin, saying that your new one isn't better than your last. And even if it is, once they start to turn in their backs, they ain't never coming back. And so, yeah, they're going to say your music's trash. Your new shit's not as good as your old, and even if it is as good as your old, they already are turning their backs and they're not coming back.
Yeah, so he's basically saying you're gonna go through what I went through.
Yep. Everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he says they did it to chance. Next, they'll be mentioned in future in the past tense or saying adios to Migos. I ain't dissing. I'm just trying to keep the shit a C note.
So he's saying we did it to Chance the Rapper, and then future, they'll do it to future, which is funny because it's a future then past tense, like
Yeah.
opposite
It's cool.
tenses. And then adios to migos because adios rhymes with migos. And
it's Spanish.
Yeah.
Like amigos and then
Yeah.
adios, so Spanish. And then yeah, I'm trying to keep it a C note, 100. $100 bill, 100. And it continues, same people been trying to do that shit to me, so I call them peephole because they're so easy to see through them.
So like a peephole, like in the door,
look through.
but then also like people,
Yes.
peephole.
Yeah, it's one of those homonyms. Yeah, homophones. Then he says, but a fighter's all I knew how to be. I got the shit beat out of me, tripped and fell and blew out a knee, popped it back in and hopped up like fuck it, best 2 out of 3. So he's saying he's always been a fighter, right? He used to get the shit kicked out of him. And then he says, I tripped, fell, blew out a knee. So he got hurt. He fell down, but he got
He's
himself
back up.
together, got
Yeah.
back up and says, fuck it, best 2 out of 3. So I don't know if this is a reference to like his previous albums, you know what I mean? Like Revival, like the shit that it got, you know what I mean? The best 2 out of 3.
Probably.
And then he says, yeah, man, I gotta be doing something right. I got 11 years of sobriety.
Yay.
So the only bottom I'm gonna be hitting is if it's sodomy. Wait, I mean, you would think that somebody handed a saw to me. Then he says how I'm chopping these bars. But
So saying that like he's doing something right at this point because it's starting to get better, I think, is what he's trying to say. And he has 11 years of sobriety. We have almost 8.
yeah, no, it's crazy.
And then he says only bottom he'll hit is if it's sodomy. Sodomy is anything that isn't vaginal intercourse.
Yeah, I used to just think it
So
was ass, but it's
no,
technically
it's anything
anything.
that's not vaginal.
Yeah, but so when he says it, he is referring to bottom
Anal.
because he says bottom, right?
Yeah.
And then
But then hitting your bottom is something that happens when you're an addict alcoholic.
yeah,
If you don't know that.
before sobriety, yeah. And then he says,
Or
"Well,
just not.
true, it's true. Yeah, that's very true. Although, is it your bottom then? Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those weird questions.
Yeah, because I have definitely been in darker places before the last time I got sober.
Yeah,
So I didn't hit my bottom before my last rehab because I had been in worse situations prior times that I tried to get sober.
I have to pee very bad. Keep reading. I'll be right back. Sorry.
Okay, I can do
So
this.
the last line.
I can do it. We don't edit here. Okay. Wait, I mean, you would think that somebody handed a saw to me. So, like, sodomy and saw to me, it's like a play on each other. And let's keep going. How I'm chopping these bars, they keep wanting me to rap responsibly when I'm constantly passing the buck like the fucking Dollar Tree. So it's like they passed a saw to me, how I'm chopping these bars. So he's got sick rap bars. We all know this. They keep wanting me to rap responsibly. So I guess like they don't want him being offensive and so on and so forth, but like that's the Eminem we know and love. We all want to hear the offensive shit. I mean, like, let's be real now. And when I'm constantly passing the buck like the fucking Dollar Tree. So I think it's self-explanatory, like buck, like a dollar, Dollar Tree. Passing the buck.
Okay.
Why am I'm like pregnant and my brain doesn't work? Why am I forgetting like what that means?
So okay, so if you pass the buck, it means you're not taking responsibility,
Okay.
right? So yeah, I heard you explaining that chopping these bars. They want me to rap responsibly. You got to that. When I'm constantly passing the buck like the fucking Dollar Tree. So yeah, if you're passing the buck, it means you're not taking any responsibility. So that's on the heels of they keep wanting me to rap responsibility, but I'm passing the buck, so I'm not taking responsibility. And then like the fucking Dollar Tree. So literally the dollar store, you could use a buck, a dollar. And then he says, but I'ma always remind you that I came from poverty. Black people saved my life from the Doc and Deshaun, and all that we want is racial equality. R.I.P. Laquan McDonald, Trayvon, and Brianna, Tatiana, Rayshard, and Dominique, Eric Gardner, and Rodney King. Is there any more names on this next page?
No.
No. Okay.
So he's always reminding people that he came from poverty. We all know that. He was living in such poverty that like every single person in his school made fun of him.
Yeah.
And
And they were poor too.
yeah. He was like the poorest of like poor people. It wasn't like he was like the poorest in like a rich neighborhood. He was like the poorest out of poor people that other like poor people were making fun of him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there were people that had it worse, but we get it.
I mean, I wouldn't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
Hmm.
So when he says black people saved his life, who is Dr. Dre, and Deshaun is
Proof.
Proof.
Deshaun Holton.
And then he goes, we all want racial equality. Then he goes off to name.
So this is an interesting list. Most of these are people that were killed by police.
Yes.
Trayvon Martin was not. George Zimmerman was not a cop.
No, but he was a
He was like a
self-appointed neighborhood watch.
Yeah. And he, to be fair, he did like he was a cop.
Why
But
does a neighborhood watch have a gun? I don't know. It's weird to me.
so if you're in a carry state, that you know what I mean, it's like you have a gun and you're on the
Yeah, you're
neighborhood
right.
watch. You know what I mean? So this is interesting. I agree with most of this. Some of these are sketchy, like the Ray Shard, which we discussed in his previous one. There's Rashard Brooks. The guy was passed out in the Wendy's and then got into the fight with the cop and grabbed the taser, that whole thing. So, some of these I don't feel should be grouped together, but whatever.
Yeah, like some of them, it's not race. It's just
Yeah.
the situation that they ended up in. Like
It's not
if
clear.
if any race of person grabs a cop's taser, they're gonna shoot you because you can use that taser to tase the cop and then take their gun. They
Yeah.
always have to be thinking about the potential of someone being able to get their gun because then, like, it's all over. Like, you have to remember that they have to protect themselves and they have to protect the population as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. And then, Breonna Taylor, it's interesting. Her boyfriend got off. He got acquitted because he was shooting back at the cops, and he got acquitted because
Well, didn't they do no knock?
yeah, they
Yeah,
did a
you
no
can't
knock
do
warrant
that.
in the middle of the night, and
Like, who the fuck
of
who
course you're
would
gonna
ever think
fire.
that was a cop?
I know you come in the middle of the
If that
night.
happened here, I would think it
Yeah,
was a robber.
yeah, you're getting shot.
Like, I would shoot you,
Yeah,
and I can't.
so that's why he got off.
If you were a cop, like, I'd be in the same situation.
But
It's crazy.
so if I'm not mistaken, though, I believe the cops got off as well because there was shots coming at them. So then they were fired. This is the problem with these no knock warrants. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but like they shouldn't have done that in the first place.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure there's no other country that even does a no knock.
So, I mean, there are some places, you know what I mean? Dictatorships. But whatever. We're getting off on a tangent. Eric Gardner, he was the one that was strangled for the cigarettes here in New York.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
Over a
like,
cigarette?
Yeah. So
That was like such a sad video.
So then the other thing is, so it's not clear how many of these are because they were black they were killed. Do you know what I mean? For any of them. It's weird. But regardless, we understand his point. And then he leaves off with Rodney King. So that was the big one in 92 or 94, right? And he had the famous line where he says, "Can we all get along? Can we all just get along?" Right? That's what he said afterwards. And on the heels of that, Eminem says, "No, we can't get along." After he says Rodney King, he answers the question that Rodney King was known for saying, "No, we can't get along till these white motherfucking cops who keep murdering blacks are off the streets. And as far as squashing beef, I'm used to people knocking me, but just not in my camp. I'm diplomatic because I'm trying to be." Okay, so
I agree. We do need to get rid of any cops who kill black people or any people for that reason based on their skin color alone. But in some of the cases that he mentioned, that just wasn't the case.
no, that's the thing.
But some of them, it seems like it probably was the case. Like, do they do no knock warrants on just like people like us? No.
Well,
But then again,
no, that's not true. We're not,
we don't do
deal
anything.
drugs. Again,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that Breonna Taylor deserves to die because her
No.
boyfriend was dealing drugs and maybe she was like
That was a shitty situation.
what was I gonna say though? I'm trying to remember. There's something I was gonna say. So yeah, whatever. He's saying to these cops, the white cops that are killing black people need to get off the street. The
There
numbers are
was
not that
one
high.
case, I don't know who the name of the person was, but there's that video where there's a black guy walking away
Walter
from the
Scott,
cops and they shoot him in the
that
back.
one was bad. That cop got convicted though.
What was
I
that?
think it was Walter Scott,
He
right?
had no weapon on
In
him.
Carolina.
Such a
Yes.
horrible video.
Yeah, Walter Scott in South Carolina, Charleston. That one, that. So this is the weird thing too. That was 100%. The cop was wrong, and he got arrested, and he should have, right?
That should have been mentioned in the
But
song.
I don't know if it's because he was black. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just like bad police work. There's bad cops. So it's not clear how much of it is bad cops in the situation, or because when you get into like, unless you're calling out racial names, you can't really get into the hearts and minds of people that are doing these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, then I would go along and say that I agree that we need to get rid of any
Of
cops
course,
who kill people for
murder. It's
who murder people.
yeah,
It's not killing, it's murder. Like killing would be if they felt the need
it
to,
was
if they were to
justified.
shoot off,
Yeah,
yeah, it's not justified.
yeah.
So nearly all of the killings he listed are not really justified because an accident either led to the killing or bad judgment or one thing or another.
Yeah, and like we said, the Trayvon thing's a whole nother fucking story. It's not even a cop, but
Yeah,
whatever.
he was just dumb.
So
What was his name again?
George Zimmerman,
Yeah, George Zimmerman was just dumb.
he got off in a court of law, you know,
Yeah,
because there was a fight, whatever. All right. So he talks about all that. And then he transitioned and he says, as far as squash and beef, I'm used to people knocking me, just not people in my camp. Right. So this leads on to like when this song came out, this was the headline, this little snippet of the song. Because he says, and diplomatic as I'm trying to be, that's the words, not I'm diplomatic. He says, and diplomatic as I'm trying to be, last thing I need is Snoop dogging me. Man, dog, you was like a damn god to me. Man, not really. Haha. I had dog backwards, but I'm starting to think all these people taking shots at me. Shit, it's no wonder.
so is he saying that because Snoop Dogg said that Eminem isn't even in his top 5 or something like that?
So yeah, he said that he was Dr. Dre got Eminem in everybody's top 10. He's not in his top 10. He doesn't think he's a top 10 rapper. But and Eminem said what the part that really bothered him wasn't even so much that Eminem said he's like, because that's an opinion. He's like, you could just take his whole catalog and throw it out, and I'd be fine with it. Like I wouldn't even miss it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So this was Eminem's response, taking a shot at him. Like, what the fuck? You were like a god to me. He's like, not really. You're a dog. And then they made up, you know, and then they did that song together. And they did a music video for it. Like, you know, they were like friends again. It was on the something to the LBC. Was it Detroit? I forget the title of it. It came out just a few years ago. After this, obviously, and they put it on Eminem's Greatest Hits.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then he says, I'm starting to think all these people taking shots at me. Shit, it's no wonder. And then it leads into the chorus, which is I be on my own. So
Yeah.
it's no wonder I be on my own.
All right.
Yeah, and that is it.
Yeah, so the song's really good. Um, it's not too short. It's like a good length.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I like the chorus too.
Yeah, White Gold's good.
Yeah.
He's very good. His singing voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the content. I like the way he rhymes on this. He's really good on the beat, you know. The concept is cool, you know, the whole God thing. He's carrying that, you know, that theme for a lot of years now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good song
Yeah, I like it
for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
But all right. So definitely check out Carnivore Snacks, SeatGeek, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.